friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Kate. In today's video, we are going to be sewing our block number 3 of the flowering quilt along. This is the block of the month that comes in our sew sampler box every single month. If you are sewing using the kit and you purchase the kit, this is what your fabric choices will look like. Fatquartershop also offered ideas in collection if you want to use other fabric. So you can go to their website, just type of flowering quilt along, and it will pop up. There's a sheet on there if you are using different collection that they suggested, and it also has coloring pages of the fabric colors, like in designers and collection of the newest fabric. But if you choose to use your own and deviate from their suggestion, you can do so as well. But for me, they happen to have the Tula pink printout on there, and I'm using it as a suggestion, and I'm going to go through it right now to let you know what I'm doing and how I'm tackling the sew along. I'm using their suggestion, and I'm also adding my own fabric as we go along. This is what our block is going to look like. So with that said, what I'm going to do now is show you the printout and what I'm thinking, what the way I'm going to handle the sew along, and then we'll go from there. Okay. These are my pieces all nice and cut out here. If you're sewing using the kit, this is what your block is going to look like this month. You know, I'm using my own fabric, and I'm using this suggested printout right here that gives you option to use other fabrics. I'm using the Tula pink line. If you are using Tula pink, they have suggested fabric right here for you to use. This is just a suggestion. When I printed my paper, I put the kit fabric and I put the fabric that I'm going to be using, I put them side by side. So whenever the blocks comes in every month, I can go here and say, okay, this is the fabric color that they're using here. And then here, this is the fabric color that I'm going to use over here, per suggestion. So it's up to me to say, okay, you know what? I want to use a fabric that they're suggesting, or I want to incorporate my own fabric in conjunction with what's here. So what I'm going to do here, so over here, I'm staying within color, okay? And over here, I am not staying within color. I'm kind of using the fabric over here, and this green fabric here is from Bestie, and I'm using it for the outer part over here, and then this color over here, I'm going to use it for the inner part. So when you come here, it wants you to use the purple, and it also wants you to use this pink color right here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use my own fabric. Okay, this right here is just a suggestion to you as for fabric that they think would look good, but it's up to you to change it. You don't have to stick to that. And so if you're using the bloom line right here that we're doing the designer mystery block of the month on, this is what your fabric suggestion will look like. And here's another line right here. This is what they're suggesting over here. I'm not sure who the designer is for this. This is using Lori Holt fabric, and over here is Joanna Figueroa's fabric. You can use her newest collection. And I think this is pumpkin spice gathering, primitive gathering fabric right over here. So there's plenty of options for you to use. If you can use anything from your stash, and it will look just as good. But for now, we are going to move on and sew this month block. So this fabric that I'm using for the center, this is a little far back. This is homemade. This is just her blenders. This is from Bestie, and then this is the tiny dot, and this is just another blender that I'm going to be using right here. With that said, let's go on ahead and start sewing. What we're going to do first is make this flying geese. We're going to need to make a set of 4. The same way I always sew my flying geese, just pretty size together. Just gonna snip away over there, and I'm gonna just finger press first, and then I'm gonna come around and I'm going to sew the other side. Then I'll press, because I don't want my fabric to stretch. I'm going to press. Just like that. I'm not moving it or anything. For this right here, we're going to need to make 4 of this pretty little flying geeses. I do have 4 of them all made and pressed and ready to go. Just put them on the side. And the next thing we are going to do is take our rectangle fabric, and we are going to take our mini squares. We're going to just make a kind of like an A shape and just sew from left corner to the bottom right. And I'm just going to sew. And I'm just going to come around here, and then I'm just going to sew just like this. So what I'm just gonna do is fold it back like that, and then I'm gonna fold this back like this. I'm gonna just come over here and cut, and then 1/4 inch per my eyeballs. And then what I'm going to do here is just press with my finger again, put it flat like this, and then I'm going to press. I just set it on top and it is super flat. And for this part right here, we need to make 4. And I have this already made, and this heart right here is facing the same direction. And then I have this right here made, and this heart right here is going up and down right here. So that means, per my own doing, this block is going to be directional, because I have this heart that's going to go on the side going up and down, and I have this heart that's going to go vertical like this, going the right direction. So I'm going to have to be on my A game when I'm sewing the whole thing together. All right, with that said, I'm going to move on to our next step. Our next step wants us to take our bigger rectangle right here. And what we are going to do is sew this soup. We're going to sew this right here. The background pieces, we're going to sew it to the end like we did with the other green fabric. This is what we're going to do. And I'm going to put it like this, and I'm going to sew. So I put a stitch here and a stitch here. So what I'm going to do now is just cut down 1/4 inch per my eyeball. And then I'm just going to press like this. And I'm going to take the other piece and I'm going to put this like this. And then I'm going to sew from here to here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of finger press kind of flat so I don't stretch the fabric. Even though I've starched, if you press willy-nilly, you can still potentially stretch your fabric. So that's why I kind of don't like moving my iron back and forth like this. Okay, so that is done. All together, we are going to need 4 that looks like this. And I have them over here. So this is the rest of them. So what you're going to do here is take 2, right? And leave it just like this. And then take 2 of the pieces that look like this and then add your side corners on, which is right here, another square. And the hearts are directional. They're going this way, or this way, and this way. So yeah, so I can't mess up with this one. All right, so I'm going to sew this one to this one and then this one to this one. We're going to have 2 that looks like this. So let's do that. All right, so now this is done. I am only going to press the seam. I'm not going to press the actual fabric that I already pressed earlier. I'm only pressing the seam of the green one, just like that. And then I'm going to press over here, just like that. All right, so now I have this right here all done, and I have its buddy all done. What we're gonna do is put this to the side. We are done with that. So with this one, remember the one we made earlier that I said I need to be on my A game? We're going to take 2 of them and we're going to do the exact same thing that I just did with the other piece. We're going to take this right here. We are going to this pretty fabric right here. We're going to sew it to the end of it. We're going to sew it like this, and we're going to take this guy and we're going to sew it just like this. It looks so pretty. So let's do that. Oh, I need to remember that these hearts are directional. Press back on all 4. I'm going to press them with an iron. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to take 2 more from here. So we're going to take these 2 pieces and we're going to sew another side to it. So all we're doing right now is preparing the segment to assemble. I'm going to bring this over from here. So I just pressed and I have both of them done. So for this segment, we're going to need to make 2 that looks like this. So I have all the segments completed. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is complete another segment. So for this segment, we are going to take 4 of this little squares, and we are also going to sew it to the corners, or the sides rather. So I'm just going to just chain piece it, and that means I'm just sewing through without breaking threads. And then so I'm just going to come around and sew another piece. We just completed another segment, okay? So for this segment, I'm not going to even press with an iron because this is a skinny piece. This is a small piece. I don't think I need to use an iron right now. I'm just going to just press it open, press it flat with my finger. So we have finally made all of the segment right here. Now that I have all the segments sewn, we have 2 sets of them. I have this right here that have the sides pieces sewn, and I have this right here that doesn't have anything sewn onto it. So over here I have a small, medium, and a large, and I have this segment right here. And then on this side, I also have the small, the medium, the large, and this one with nothing sewn. So what we're going to do now is bring this right here, and then we're going to take our pieces that look like this. We're going to take this small segment, we're going to put it like this, and like this block is not hard to make. The orientation is where I'm probably going to mess up, like where this faces this way. I'm trying to pay attention so I don't switch things up. So what we're going to do now is sew this middle segment right here. I'm going to sew the middle segment, and I'm going to come around like this, and I'm going to sew the other side. I'm just going to come and press it towards the light. Press towards the light, and then come over here and press towards the light again. And then I'm just going to give it a little heat. Yeah, I've pressed this to the side going like this, but you can press however way you want. It's just a suggestion. And so what I'm going to do is take this and sew the top on. And over here, it's important to pin to make sure your seams matches. I'm not going to, I'm just going to hold it together. All right, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hold it in place, and I'm going to sew. So I'm going to come around and then sew. What we're doing is just pressing. I'm going to just press my seam flat real quick. Then I'm just going to come around and I'm just going to just press. Okay, and then you can see already, like, this is so pretty. And you have the heart and you have the scissors coming out from the corner. What we're going to do now is take our other medium size segment that we made. We're going to put this going like this, and then this is going to go like this. And then, so now since the heart here is going this way, I'm just going to put them going like this, and I'm going to put this going like that. If you want to stop here, you can use this as a block by itself. So, but that's not what we're doing today. We're just gonna go ahead and sew this part right here to this, and I'm gonna do it on both sides. So I'm just gonna come around and sew this side. So I'm just going to press this away, and I'm just going to press. I'm going to set my iron on top, bring this over, and I'm going to press. Ouch, I just burnt myself. So what we're doing now is putting this guy right like this, and I'm still holding this right direction, and we're going to just put this like this, and we're going to sew this side. I'm not going to pin, I'm just going to hold in place. So what I'm going to do now is just bring this part right here, and I'm just going to press it like so. I'm going to come to the back, just press it a little flat. So now this is what we're looking like, okay? What we're going to do now is do what we do. We're going to bring this over like so. We're going to just continue what we're doing. It's kind of like a build-a-block. And we're going to sew this on here like this, and then we're going to sew this like this. So we're going to sew like that. And what I'm going to do now is just sew the sides first. Sew the side on first, and then I'll sew the top pieces. There is no need to pin this because there's really no seam to be matched. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew it. I'm just going to come to the other side and sew. I'm just going to press it. Press it on both sides. And then put my iron on. So now what we're doing is bringing our top segment and sewing it on. This is what we're looking like right now. That's my block. Incompleted, but looks great, in my opinion. I'll let you guys be the judge. You comment down below and y'all let me know if I am on the right path with this sew along, with my color choices, with my fabric choices rather. I'm gonna hold here. I'm not pinning, I'm just gonna hold it. And then I'm gonna continue now that I know that point is matching. So I'm going to bring this over like this, and I'm going to sew on the other side. I'm going to make sure that my points are matching. I'm going to sew. And now we're going to do what we do. We're going to press. Every segment gets pressed. And these are so big of a block that it doesn't take much to get like a wow factor. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. So pretty. All right, so what we're gonna do now is do another segment sewing. So I'm just gonna sew this onto the side, and then we will finally put on our last bit of segment. I don't even think this thread in my bobbins, it's gonna be enough to sew this line, but we'll see. Again, I'm going to press my seam, and then I'm going to just press to the side. Press my seam, and then I'm just going to press to the side. And this is what my backside looks like so far. Not too bad, right? Because I'm pressing everything to the right direction. What we're doing now is I'm gonna put this over like this, and I'm gonna bring the bottom. This is what we look like, okay? So I'm just gonna sew this part to this part and this part to this part, and this block is completely done. And I have to change my bobbin, y'all. I didn't quite make it, but we're going to continue. We're going to finish it up. Oh my goodness. And we are done. So that is that. Our block is all sewn, and this is what my block looks like right here. I'm using the suggested fabric as we go along, and I am also incorporating my own fabric from my stash as well. So this fabric right here was one of the one that they suggested, and all the other ones I kind of, made my own as we go along. But I'm so happy on how it turned out. Well, friends, with that being said, that is all I have for you today. I hope you're having a great day, and I would love to see you in my next video.